Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of a prop for a guy. Big Tractor Power. He's got like 30,000 subscribers, and I do pop into his videos from time to time when I got time. So today I have got a little bit of time because I didn't get home until midnight last night after bailing, being really abusive and rough to my equipment. That's just normal for me, you know, because I don't know how to run stuff. But anyway, this was published yesterday, and the title of the video is New Holland Speedrower 260. And I just kind of browsed through the comments, and, you know, of course I see some stuff, you know, from my past in there, like the No Rower 240 by One Lonely Farmer. And, yeah, you know, and you get some good comments. Some good comments and some bad ones, and I'll read a couple of them because, you know, it's all worth noting. Alright, so I got this guy, Z Filmmaker. He wrote in, Hunter John, I had a similar problem West did. Truth is the matter is New Holland's reliability is at its all-time low. Plus corporate doesn't care about the end user when my dealer couldn't fix mine. I called New Holland, and no matter what they would not talk to me. After 40 minutes or more on hold, I was told my dealer had hung up on me. This happened 7 times. I finally gave up and now sold everything New Holland I owned, including my highly problematic BB340, and replaced it with John Deere Krone. New Holland is junk. Alright, so, on that comment, I got no less than, I think it was 4 phone calls from guys around the country on their New Holland Speedrower 220 and I think maybe it was the Speedrower 290 or 190. I don't know, maybe it was the 190 and mine was the 240. I'm trying to put those numbers out of my mind so any of my critics can, you know, tell me off. But one guy, Coles Creek Farm, which I recognize that name, came here to see the No Rower with a smiley face. And then I got Elm Custom Harvesting. It's sad to see all the comments from guys that think this machine is junk. They never operated one. Our neighbor has one, and it has been on our farm many times. They are great machines. Okay, that's great, you know. And then of course there was another guy, Elm Custom Harvesting. You're right. From all the comments about OLF, I bet he was trying to mow through a creek and over a rock pile and wondered why it broke. He could break an anvil. Well, thank you, Jake Ziegler. I appreciate that. I don't mow creek beds. There's no hay there. The amazing thing is that I have a New Holland mower. It's in different clothing. It's called the Case WD2303. It is the identical machine as its New Holland counterpart, which I believe was the HW345. Identical. Same header, same engine, same transmission, same gearboxes, same pumps, same everything, right down to the wheels. Still on my farm, still very reliable, still works when you turn the key. You turn the key and you go. Actually bought a new header for it a year ago. Works great. Having a little bit of trouble because it's an adaptation of a grass seed header on down to the you know, to the type of hay that I'm mowing. But you know what? I'll get there, and it'll be just fine. You don't see any complaint videos about that. No, none at all. And I do have some things that are wrong with it, but I just attribute it to the probably 40,000 acres of hay that it has mowed. Then we get another one that says, looks like a smooth running machine when not in the hands of one lonely dumbass. Okay. It's alright. No, it's okay. I can handle that. You don't have to get upset about it. Anyway, you can see all the problems with the Speedrower 240 in this video if you look close enough. As you see when the operator of this machine, this hay actually looks like it's probably half as heavy as what I'm cutting on a normal daily basis. Probably close to the same thickness of the hay that I cut that particular year. That was 2014. It doesn't steer very well. Doesn't steer very well. When you come to a corner, you'll see the back end of this thing like roll you forward. It throws you forward into the seat. That's another problem. That causes some major fatigue. The uncontrollability in the field is just amazing. You get going and you're constantly sawing on the steering wheel. Now, you know, my hat's off to Big Tractor Power. He does some pretty decent videos. But this one here, if you didn't know, the Speedrower 260, the Speedrower 240, the Speedrower 220 are all the same identical machine. They're all the same. The only difference between the newer models with that stink bug looking back end on it is the engine. They had to make the rear hood of this thing bigger to conceal that beer keg afterburner, or the burners for the think here, the exhaust burner, whatever the hell they call that thing. Anyways, the blue def and everything else has to be up and underneath there. There's actually 2 more cans of, like my John Deere. Now my John Deere is very large. I have mowed more hay with my John Deere with so little trouble. The worst thing about the John Deere so far is that gearbox, the header gearbox. At some point I must have struck something and actually bent the one ear of the gearbox. I could have continued to run it all summer long, but I opted to buy a new gearbox. It cost me $1,600. I put it in, and I have mowed quite a few acres of hay with it without any big problems like I had with the Speedrower 240. As a matter of fact, the Speedrower 240 that I had was so bad that Messick's Equipment sent me my old machine back. I didn't even get through half the year with the new one, and I had my old machine back. I mean, anybody that's watched my channel knows the real story. There's no sense in New Holland making a bigger, a higher horsepower engine to put in these machines. The engines were flawless. They ran. I never had any trouble with the engine side of it. The problem is in the hydraulics. The hydraulic drive motors on the header, they're about 1/4 of the size of the single drive motor that's on the John Deere. And if you get into heavy hay with the John Deere, that 235 horsepower engine, it will stall that thing. Whereas the New Holland had never even phased the motor, it just stalled the hydraulics. Collapsing drive motors and pumps and all the other problems that I had with it, I was just so thankful that New Holland or Messick's took it back. When they took it back, they took it back. That was the end of it. It was gone. Later on that year, I met up with a guy in a cast, and he actually was injured from my mower, my Speedrower 240. He was in a cast and had 5 operations. Turns out that he cut himself doing something, and the other thing was they crashed the machine. When they did the hill test, like I was complaining about the uncontrollable road travel, they found a hill and they took it up a hill and they actually crashed the machine. So all of my complaints were viable. The other complaint that I really didn't show too much of was the ballast at the back of the machine. And you'll see on this machine, when he makes that corner, the ass end comes way up. You'll have those rear wheels off the ground. I ended up getting 6 extra weights from New Holland, and I bolted in a big chunk of lead that weighed another 150 pounds. I bolted that in there and still had the same problems. So go watch Big Tractor Power's video, and you can see all the issues that I've explained in my old videos from 2014 and the video that you're going to watch today or tomorrow. It is a nightmare of a machine. It just is. There are better machines. I would go with a Heston, Massey Ferguson Heston over the New Holland. The John Deere, to me, has been, I guess I've only ever spent $1,600 on it, other than blades. That's it. I had a couple of hydraulic hoses that weren't tightened quite right from the factory, which I could tell you they were flat face O-rings, and I think the O-rings slipped out of the slot before they put them together, so that's just probably a new guy on the assembly line. But I had 2 of those, and there was a leaky oil cooler, which was not a John Deere oil cooler, but John Deere came out and replaced it free of charge and very fast. So anyways, thanks for watching, and to all you guys that just love to bash on me and say that I abuse equipment, I challenge you. Bring your no-rowers. Bring them all down. We'll put them up against the old case. That old case WD-2303 would run circles around this New Holland Speedrower 260. I guarantee you it would. It would just rape that New Holland, because New Holland's older models are a hell of a lot better than their newer ones. Thanks for watching.